This first one, January 21st, 2025, after the second inauguration of Donald J. Trump. I meant to write something significant about politics, regime changes, and what wise hope we might cling to. But this morning, a dense fog whirls like apparitions between the valley oaks and Douglas firs. Droplets form and fall everywhere as I breathe the cool, infused air, moisture glazing my face. As if time is just beginning, as if I'm newly born into this glaucous womb world. I see nothing of what lies ahead, but trepidation takes wing when a sudden happiness nests in me. I didn't know I could abide for a moment in a cloud, clinging to nothing. I didn't know fog could hush a morning like falling snow. I think what besides writing, I look for kindness in the world, and I look to nature to help me make sense of things. The next poem is To Speak No Evil. Times like these, mouth stuffed with cotton wads, your tongue desiccates and sticks to the palate. Arms and hands wave wild as you try to speak with your eyes, but instead, past capacity, they just run rivulets that dry and crust to a briny white. In times like these, when a madman plots to crown himself king, a man mad to wave a jeweled and stolen scepter, to make into law his every unfiltered thought, a choking smoke fills the lungs and burns the very air from here to kingdom come. In times like these, your mouth rejects the invectives too reprehensible, too unthinkable, so unutterable you'd have to unhinge your jaw like a python to disgorge your shaking rage. That's why, at times like these, you gouge paper with your black pen. That's why you lash words into a poem. Now on to some medical ones. First one is rust. Color of oxidized metal or the brown of fungus on a rose leaf. Stainless steel won't corrode, neither will plastic. But once I ran my finger over a spot of powdery bronze on a cast iron skillet, marveling how the color stained my skin. Then, decades later, that rotation in the ER during nursing school, when a young man came in hemorrhaging from his mouth a few days post-tonsillectomy, spitting copious volumes of blood into a pink wash basin. We ran his gurney down the hall full speed, banging through the metal doors of the OR for emergent surgery before he bled out. Afterward, I couldn't stop trembling. Had to step outside into the cool morning before helping clean up the exam room, the burgundy splattered walls, the fishing of paper towels from the basin of coagulating, still warm blood. I'll never forget the sickening glisten of floating fat, the blood's metallic odor like copper or rusty iron, the large soft clots moving in the thick liquid against my gloved hand, the roiling horror of that very close call. I've been retired 4 years now, and I did really like my job for those 35 years. And there's things that I miss and a lot of things I don't. This is called What I Love at Work. The morning stethoscope ritual, lifting it from around my neck, warming its bell on my hands so the patient won't jump, inserting the gray rubber tips into my ears, opening the back of the patient's gown, then resting my left hand on their shoulder. Take a deep breath, I say, then auscultate, lung fields between scapulae, moving down the spine, one side to the other, the tidal flow of critical gases exchanging, the blow and breach of the chest's twin whales, inhaling, exhaling. I listen for bibasilar crackles of heart failure, coarse congestion of pneumonia, wheeze of asthma, Egophony, rattles, rhonchi, stridor, or silence from emphysema, cancer, a lobectomy, the overlay of intestinal digestive borborygmi, clicks and gurgles of peristalsis echoing through the belly. All the while I'm marveling at the body's largest organ, noting skin color, tattoos, scars, tan lines, wrinkles, hair, visible ribs, soft, fleshy rolls. Thousands of peoples, thousands of bodies. What I love is the brief, breathtaking intimacy of eavesdropping on organs performing their moment-to-moment miracles. I was a chemo nurse for 6 years. I helped a lot of people pass away. And so that was some of the most intense work I did, some of the hardest and some of the most wonderful at the same time. On silent wings, thin tissue-covered branch of bone and sinew, the knot of elbow protruding from a snowbank of sheets, blankets. Oh, but those eyes are what pierce me, the dark pupil portals into a nameless eternity I fall into with every blink. Exquisite mirror of fragile beauty, this worn glove called body. See how easy, they say, when the time is right, you simply slip out and fly away. Body celestial. Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly goes clear to the bone, someone once quipped. Well, I'm a nurse and a poet, and the bones I've seen are white, lovely as a winter moon, and the textured skin, dermis and epidermis fulfilling their oath, everything kept in, everything else out. What, may I ask, is more beauteous than the body? Its full miracle, every pulsing, electrified cell, muscles flexing, fingers moving, chambers of the heart pumping 4,000 times an hour, the 5 lobes of the lung like a squeeze box playing oxygen to every organ. Over time, it might be true, beauty dives to a deeper definition, burrows beneath scars, wrinkles, the pigmented spots of earned wisdom. But let's be real, life is no beauty pageant. It's a split-second cellular marathon run to the end when we finally lay it all down. Sinews, tissues, bones, everything from metatarsals to cranium. With our last breath, the light of us blooms on, into star, into nebula, a body celestial, corpuscular, and infinitely so much more than merely beautiful. The heart of the matter. Because I was born into wonder, and morning flutters wind and bird song. Because I have grown children, a life of fruit and weeds, and been a nurse for the young and the aged, and many times have closed the eyes of the dead. I believe with every cell what my hospice patient said, love is all there is. It's all we take with us when we go. But some days I feel like a seed caught in layers of drift and eddy, a swirl in sun-bright heat. Because the truth is, there's no container big enough for the earth of my carrying. In the night, when the carousel of it all wakes me, I have to stand under the stars of the inky sea, awash in moonlight, and cast the currents of my heartbeat to everything under those infinite fires, concentric circles sparking and spinning into the dark and perfect sky. Okay, my last one. I wrote this a few years ago on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. It's how to stay afloat. Some days you feel like a passenger on the Titanic, the one playing piano to calm everyone's nerves as the ship slips into those dark depths. But today, you see a video clip of a young man in a yellow safety vest, sharing water with a thirsty squirrel as it splays across a hot sidewalk. The man tipping his own plastic bottle right into the small open mouth. Tears well as you watch the man gently pet the squirrel's back with his free hand, the squirrel's front leg outstretched, its tiny paw resting on the man's other hand. You watch it run up the man's forearm and stay there, the man still pouring water, even though something wild is standing on his arm, and his sleeve is soaked, and you think, wow, if everyone just cared this deeply, if everyone shared kindness, water, anything needed, maybe we could keep this thing afloat. Maybe we could stay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shawna Swetech. One more time. Our next reader is Chris Giovachini. He's from the Valley of the Moon, where he's lived for over 43 years. Poet, sailor, guitar player, landscape gardener, teacher of language and literature. He was honored with the Poet as Community Leader Award by the town of Sonoma in 2003. Please help me welcome Chris Giovachini to our stage.
Hello, thank you very much. And I'd like to thank Ed Coletti for the original invitation some months ago, and for Gwynn O'Gara for picking up the torch. This first poem I'd like to read is, it's an anecdote about my mom. I grew up in the Cow Hollow neighborhood of San Francisco. And that's where this takes place. It's called Hanging Clothes with Maya. Maya lived in the third story of the old Union Street flats owned by the mayor. At the back, 3 flights of weathered wooden stairs zigzagged up to a pane glass sun porch. Her line stretched out to a telephone pole in the Finocchio-filled common space in the middle of the block. Where all the back fences ended, a yesteryear barn stood, and the neighborhood kids sometimes hacked their way through the fennel jungle and old foundations on imaginary quests. Jane lived in the first floor flat on perpendicular Octavia Street, with no back porch. Her line stretched from the weighted sash windows in her son's room across the little cultivated backyard, with a few herbs, fruit trees, and Swiss chard, to that same pole where Maya's line attached. Jane hanging out the window with her haunch against the sill, and the statuesque Miss Angelou leaning on the railing of her wooden landing. Both women reeled out their clothes with that same pole they had in common. Maya's adire and dashiki patterns flowed above Paisley's Peter Mac sheets, gym clothes, and baseball uniforms below. Smiling and kibitzing in loud voices across the back fences. For these 2 mothers, these 2 washerwomen, it was their civil rights movement. Thank you. Now this one is called A Good Catch. Once you were a good catch, young, in the sea, hopeful about love and relationship. a sizable fish with brilliant markings, like a dorado full of fight. Though, like a dorado, after taking a feathered lure, running and fighting, you ended up in the cockpit of some boat, flapping, slapping, gasping. Your iridescent golden green, once out of the sea, faded quickly to a drab gray pallor. Misery shortened by a whack. Then, only quivering and twitching, it was as if someone had switched off a neon light within you. Now warily you roam, and upon seeing those artificial lures, the trolling blue and white and the pink and white feathers, you resist, aware of the single barbed hook concealed by them, and that lackluster, supine place it leads. I guess that's kind of a love poem. And this third one is about my dad. He was an Italian immigrant. One of my heroes. It's called Machine of a Man. Suddenly, the elephant garlic is too big. It hasn't been planted customarily during the full moon in November. The Jeep battery goes dead. Tippy nudges and drools at his elbow for handouts once taboo. She remembers that he doesn't. The shovel is missing. The raised vegetable beds are untended. A homemade birdhouse is hung upside down. In the shed, wine is turning to vinegar. An aviary of wooden birds whose pinwheel rings represent a progression of prototypes hangs crippled in the garden breeze. He can't get a dial tone on the television remote control. The workbench and tools that created reindeer for Christmas, cats and dogs when it rained, lie silent in chaotic repose. In spite of the latest medications, swallows weave the air, building mud nests in the corners of his mind. A kiss on the cheek from an old acquaintance he rants is a secret affair. Television is a mysterious array of images. Is that guy talking to me, he asks. Wristwatch worn upside down reflects a change in time. It's a stigmata on the family heart that bleeds through stoic bandages and concealing clothes. We cope. We hold hands. I scratch his back. We sit together. I ply and stretch his clenched hands. When our eyes meet, I tell him I love him. I love you too, he replies. I don't know where I am, he says. This is a nursing home, I answer. Where do I go from here? He asks. Go toward the light, Dad. Go toward the light. A tireless machine of a man, an old piece of farm equipment, retired to a far corner of the field, oxidizing.
Later, I'll ask you what parish you belong to. Our next reader is Susan Lamont. Susan is a lifelong peace and social justice advocate. Tireless, tireless, tireless. Who also manages to write dynamite poetry. Let's welcome Susan Lamont.
You're seeing how tall I am. Yeah.
That's what you gave me.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No, I'm talking about the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
This first poem I'm reading sort of to honor Ed. It's the second poem I ever wrote, and I dared to take it to read at an open mic that was for Mother's Day at Toad in the Hole, and he liked it, so I'm going to read it again from many years ago. It's to my mother, obviously, and my mother's favorite place on earth was Manhattan, and at one time she told me that if a woman tells you she enjoys sex, she's lying. So, this is to my mother, for whom concrete is enough and sex too much. Come down to the river, let the earth take you by the hand. Close your eyes, you are safe. Let the earth take you as her lover. Relax, all is well. Don't resist, you always resist. This is not some man coming to take what he wants from you. This is not some man coming to lay claim to you. This is not some man coming to bend you to his will. Lay yourself upon earth's bed. Join the others there, the river, the stones, all here to love you as you are, laying no claim, demanding no changes. Offering you green love, green as a fern. Offering you blue love, blue as a lupin. Gentle breeze love, cool creek love. Fierce sun love, soft moss love. Lay yourself down. Feel the caresses. Trust. You never trust. The ferns love your body just as it is. The breeze loves your body just as it is. Feel the surge. Let yourself come. Moan out loud. Let yourself come. Claw at the duff. Let yourself come. The sun, the moon, the stars look down, not as voyeurs, but as eager handmaidens. Stars in your hair, moon in your eyes, sun on your lips. Give in to them. You bring them, they bring you joy. Give in to them. They bring you songs. Give in to them. They bring you courage. And as you come, spill your anger onto the ground. The rain will wash it away. And as you come, spill your fear onto the ground. The sun will dry it up. And as you come, spill your sorrow onto the ground. The breeze will carry it away. And when you are truly here, and when you are finally ready, and when you release your ecstatic cry, the earth will join you, and it is your name that will be on her lips. There's only one person here who actually knew my mother. Okay, the next one I'm sort of devoting to Gwynn, because it was the third poem I wrote, and I got a nice email from her about it, so it makes me think of her when it's about the Deepwater Horizon oil, I call it crime, not a spill, casualties. Having flown their last miles, tattered wings flutter, try to rise from the red-brown skin of a Louisiana beach. Off the endangered list for one short year, now just flotsam and jetsam lapping this humid shore. An open vein, oil and water mix, unspooling a knotted thread across the coast to weave this pelican's shroud. The hasp of Pandora's box, so carelessly sprung, sinks to the ocean floor, eludes us in the current. For now, an eternity of stars returns each night, bright reminder that we lost paradise somewhere along the way. So all of these poems are about our relationship to the earth. I do have a theme, Karl. So, a few years ago, there was an article in the New York Times that said that the Oxford Junior Dictionary was being edited, and a bunch of words were being taken out, and a bunch of words were being added. They gave the list of the words, so those in this poem. I used to spend my elementary school days in a woods across the street. We called it the woods, and we would go there without adults, and it was wonderful. So this relates to that too. On editing the Oxford Junior Dictionary, a culture is no better than its woods. W.H. Auden. We went out to play. We owned the afternoons. Remove acorn, buttercup, dandelion. Spring's pink ladies' slippers, the woods dappled light in summer's heat. Autumn's bittersweet, rampant at the margins. The silent intensity of winter's snow. Remove heron, newt, otter. The playground swings are idle now, though the climbing tree still stands, no children in its crown. The woods, which once seemed to stretch forever, just scar tissue on the disemboweled earth. Remove pasture, willow, fern. The woods, home to magical journeys, gone, and the children, in the glow of screens, dream of other worlds than this one at their feet. Kinship lost with the trees. Add MP3 player, committee, blog. Wild time lost, we are adrift, the ballast of belonging thrown overboard. All life moving into exile. We are in renamed territory. Add bullet point, celebrity, cut and paste. This one's inspired by seeing a heron, an egret, searching for food in the median strip on Highway 12, and my worrying about the poisonous runoff from the street. Intimate harm. Hollow hungry. We hurtle, travel blind on highways past winter-oaked fields. Earth warm under gaudy light. Zen still egret, radiant, stoic, invisible quiet. Luminous joy-born bird, betrayed, belly empty, in grass, crisp, drought-dried. Season turns liquid late, median strip oil rainbows bloom, slick and sear. Lightning flash beak leaps, snaps shut, gulps runoffs, five-limbed frog, waste harvest. How else to tell this? Regret comes late. So many ways to be dangerous. Okay, this is a geopolitical one. We are living too large. Against the men who would murder men, Dylan Thomas. We are living too large on the map of the world, and the ice caps are melting and dying. From too much and too warm, igniting a frenzy for fuel revealed by that warming. And the New York Times is reporting a politician's warning that the Chinese will be drilling. Too close. A threat that is chilling. We are living too large on the map of the world, and our taxes are paying for soul taxing, warring, not children's schooling or grandparents' healing. And Congress might even be stealing our Social Security for procuring the bombs for oil security and, just in case you're hesitating, the newspaper is making a case with a map and a photo of water too open. The warming is causing, so we can imagine a northern passage to China the ice was concealing. Think atheist, think red. We are living too large on the map of the world, and we are addicted to what they are pushing. So no surprise that we're fearful that we will be losing that fossil aphrodisiac that's inducing our Disney-spelled dreaming, with Mickey sitting in for our vanishing wildlife. Such a small price to be paying for that high that we're getting. Get it while you can. We are living too large on the map of the world, but it's too good for business. So the New York Times isn't saying that it's our home that we're harming. It's none of our business. And the politicians not warning about global warming, and our lives are too harried to notice. Too small? And so we keep voting for men who are murdering the life that sustains us, eternally hoping, an act of forgetting, for some better future, while our future is melting in a sea that is warming, a sea that is dying. And it's late, so terribly late, much too late, to be living too large on the map of the world. This is the last one. It's a work in progress because it's actually inspired by the Naomi Shihab Nye poem that Larry Robinson shared today. What do you do? Naomi Shihab Nye asks, when your country does not feel cozy, what do you do? Every few weeks, having picked up the friends who no longer drive, we gather in my bright yellow living room and start with an organ recital. The Tylenol isn't helping my knees. The liver enzymes don't look good. What does your doctor recommend? We share small peppers dipped in hummus, vegan Thai dumplings, as we ask, why are people so afraid to talk about death? Why must we pass and not die? Sharing Irish whiskey and strawberry crumb bars, we wonder, now that we are domestic terrorists, will I kick him in the nuts so that he kills me quickly, or take my chances in a for-profit dungeon? When your country does not feel cozy, what do you do? As though everything were normal, we talk about travel plans. I have a long layover in Istanbul. I moved to the States when I was 11, but we've read of the Venezuelan man with the flower tattoo on his chest, dedicated to his mother. That was all they needed to see. I'm going to visit my sister in New York. We've read about the white Canadian actress confined to a cell for a week, no explanation. Once we asked for travel photos. Now their safe return is enough. When your country does not feel cozy, what do you do? We join rapid response teams, always mindful that there are those who have never been cozy here. Pass out the little red cards defining our rights. Pass out the little yellow cards with a number just in case. We raise money for Gaza and carry their flag. We take nonviolence training classes. We protest, we write, we sing, we create art. We take nonviolent, we try to be nice, secret diplomats. We do what we've always done as we wonder whether we'll have to do what we've never done. And will we know how to do it? When your country does not feel cozy, what do you do? My third grade friend Earl, the only black kid in the school and the first boy to kiss me, disappeared one day. My mother said, his family has moved where they'll be more comfortable. Did she mean cozy? Thank you. Sorry to be such a downer.
Artists have a way of making the heartbreak beautiful. And we thank you for that, Susan. And all of you who have shared with us painful, difficult reality. So now it's time for some bass. Stand-up bass with Steve Shain and some poetry with David Madgalene.
Thank you, Gwynn, Rob, Ed, everybody who's helped put this together, Mario, Mama Duke, everybody here at Cafe Frida. I don't know everybody's name, but everybody on the staff, Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you to all our readers. Red, you be the onlyest friend I've got. Red, you was always there. You was there the time I fell down and cracked my head. You was there when my woman, she left me. You was there even when I tried to quit you. Old Red, they done stuck me in the streets to die. But leastways, bottle of red, I've got you. Steve, did I ever tell you about my friend Red?
Bring it.
Did I ever tell you about the guy who stuck with me through thick and thin? Did I ever tell you about, I never told you about Red. Well, let me tell you about something. Let me tell you about the first night that I met Red. I went to the party. I started drinking a little wine. I was talking to the ladies. Steve, I was sure feeling fine. You know, I went up to the bar again and again and again. I said, give me the red, baby, baby. Mr. Bartender, give me the red. The next morning, I woke up in a hospital bed. Yeah, the next morning, after I met my new best friend, Red, you know, the doctor, he looked me right in the eye. He said, son, you know, you're lucky to be alive. It's a miracle you're still here. You almost died. And I was laying in my hospital bed, and I was laying there, and I said to myself, I gotta get up and do it again. I gotta do it again, Steve. I almost died. I OD'd on wine. I was lucky to be alive, but I was lying there and I said, oh Lord, please don't let me die, because I want to get up and do it all again. I want to get up off this bed and do it again. Give me a second chance. I don't want to die tonight, because I got a date with my new best friend, Red. I got to go out tonight and do it again. Oh, baby, 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 give me the red. Baby, 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 another bottle of red. Steve, yeah, you know, that's how it started, and it's kind of been that way for a few years, but things have been changing lately. I think I'm getting a different attitude and rethinking this relationship. And so this is something I've written more recently. It's kind of about where I'm at right now with Red. Red, you know you've always been my best friend. Red, you've been with me through thick and thin. From the penthouse to the gutter, for all the world to see. Red, I should have known you'd never leave me. But I'm fixing to be lonesome, thirsty, sad and blue. 'Cause I hate to say this, Red, but Red, I'm better off without you. Red, now I'm not saying that I don't remember the good times, but lately, Red, you've been messing with my mind. A little horseplay between friends, yeah, it can be fun. But lately, Red, you've been playing a little too rough. You've been knocking me out. You've been taking all my money too. I hate to say this, Red, but Red, I'm better off without you. How many times have I found myself laid out beside the road, I woke up in a deep ditch. I had nowhere to go. I'm talking about last night. You laid me out on my back. The man had to come and he had to pull me off of the railroad track. Or the other night, I was feeling so good, I fell into the campfire. I fell right into the campfire. What can I do? I hate to say this, Red, but Red, I'm better off without you. Steve Shain on bass. I was standing starboard forward lookout the other night when the memory of my long-lost lady love came to mind. She blazed across the Mediterranean sky like a shooting star, and I felt even more alone. You had a smile, satisfying, hair of roses, eyes of fire. I loved you the day I met you. How could I forget you, Greta Gwynn? Was it because I left that port a boy in search of the great beyond, never knowing that what I'd find was the shadow of the lonely man that I've become? As I proudly sailed away on that morning of my first cruise, I left Greta Gwynn on the pier, waving me goodbye. I said I'd be back, take you to wife, and be your man. But now I'm just another lost sailor who'll never come home again. We wrote long, heartfelt letters and posed for pretty pictures. But as the days and years went by, they no longer seemed to matter. Your loving memory trailed away in the wake of time. You told your family and friends I'd return to you, and so you remained loyal and true. Yet I was no longer yours, Greta Gwynn, if you were still mine. You kept your lonesome, forlorn candle flickering in the window while I danced with foreign beauties on distant shores under the stars. And that is how I forgot you. May God forgive me, Greta Gwynn. You had a smile satisfying, hair of roses, eyes of fire. I loved you the day I met you. How could I forget you, Greta Gwynn?
Thank you so much. And thank all of you, Mario, and Mamadou, and Ed, and Rob, filming this, and all of you for coming and having faith that the sun would come out, and that we didn't even care if we got a little wet. So we'll see you, I think it's June 29th, and if you can't make that, it'll be September 28th. You'll hear from me, and there'll be flyers. And next month, so far, we have Ed reading, and Jack Crimmins, who is here somewhere. So we'll build on that until we get our 8 readers. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for your books, for your poems, for your memories, for your angers, for your beauties, for your helping to nourish the world. Appreciate it.